And we are back with the fourth segment of the GSMC basketball podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this fourth segment, we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler and his potential return to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, this isn't really going to be his decision on returning. Like, he didn't specifically say, "Oh, I want to go back to Philly." This is Philly wanting him to come back. So, it's kind of ironic, and it's kind of funny how they had Jimmy Butler on the roster before in 2019, but they traded for him, but they decided to let him go, and they decided to let him go and join the Miami Heat, and instead they would acquire Tobias Harris. And there was a running joke about how Jimmy Butler got replaced by Tobias Harris, and Jimmy took it personally, and Jimmy Butler being Jimmy Butler and the loudmouth that he is, he took to talking on the internet at one point, and he was like, they took Tobias Harris over me, because Tobias Harris, he was playing very well when he was on the Clippers, and then they decided to pursue him. But ever since then, he hasn't really been that same monster that he was on the Clippers. And it was really the fact that they replaced Jimmy Butler with Tobias Harris. It's kind of insulting, given what Jimmy Butler has been able to do with the Miami Heat and with the team as a whole. So, looking at this article by Caden Hardy. So the Sixers had some success this past season after making it into the 2024 NBA playoffs. While they finished 7th in the Eastern Conference, the team was bounced in the first round by the Knicks. We love to hear that. The Miami Heat had a similar season to the Sixers. They placed 8th in the conference. However, they got eliminated in the first round by the Boston Celtics, who are currently playing in the NBA Finals. While it may seem that these two teams would want to move in opposite directions, the Sixers are prepared to make an offer for the Heat star Jimmy Butler and offer him a max extension upon his return to the city that he once called home. So, if you remember in 2019, the Sixers they lost to the eventual 2019, excuse me. They lost to the eventual NBA champions, the Toronto Raptors, and the way that they lost was incredibly heartbreaking for a lot of Philadelphia fans because the ball bounced around the rim 4 times before eventually going in, and that essentially sealed the series in Game 7. They were really close. They took the championship Raptors to 7 games and lost on one of the most clutch shots in NBA history. And after that, they just decided to let go of Jimmy Butler and, pursue and try to, build the duo between Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and add Tobias Harris. Now, this was proven to be one of the biggest mistakes in the history of the NBA because Ben Simmons, not that guy. I am not going to talk about him because I cannot stand his name. I cannot stand the fact that he has a job in the NBA. No. I will be the first one to say no. But aside from that, Jimmy, he's had a lot more success on the Miami Heat than he did with the Sixers. There's no telling, whether or not the Sixers would have gone farther with Jimmy Butler than without him. But at the same time, they definitely had a much better shot. I feel like that Sixers team with Jimmy Butler was very, very underrated. Now, according to Keith Pompey of the Sixers Inquiry, they have a list of goals to complete in free agency. The first involves signing superstar Paul George into free agency, and if these plans fall through, could we see Butler suiting for the Sixers next season? That is the ultimate question, because granted, Paul George is going to ask for a lot of money, and I'm sure that Jimmy Butler is also going to ask for a lot of money if he decides to go to a completely different team. So, allergies, they're just killing me right now. I apologize. But according to the Miami Heat president, Pat Riley, obviously, what Pat Riley says goes, and it's really it's really down to just what he says, because his word is almighty for the Miami Heat. And The Heat, they're not interested in trading the NBA star earlier this month, according to Pat Riley. But it seems that he slightly opened up to the idea a little bit, saying there are a possibility of a lot of things are on the table. It's not about getting another star. You get another star and your bench gets weaker. So it should be noted that Butler had a brief stint, like as I mentioned earlier. He briefly played with the Sixers, during which he appeared for just 55 games after being acquired in a trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I said 2019, I meant 2018. I apologize for that. I messed up the years. I completely forgot about 2019, and I completely forgot about 2018. And while it is possible that the move doesn't happen, like, the Heat have had reason to get rid of their top players. Like, there have been many rumors about this offseason about a possible retooling in Miami. But as for now, we'll have to wait and see. Actually, wait, no. I'm messing up with the years. I apologize for that, guys. He did play in 2019, and it's I don't know why this article is saying 2017 and 2018. I mean, that doesn't sound right whatsoever. I mean, in 2019, that was when the Raptors made it all the way, and in 2018, the Golden State Warriors were the ones that won the championship, and they were the ones that swept the Cavs in 2018. So I don't know what this article is talking about. I think they messed up the years because, yeah, I think this article messed up the years. That's actually very hilarious. How do you mess that up? I mean, granted, I messed that up a little bit, but I remember vividly that it was 2018. That was when, the Golden State Warriors, they still had that ridiculous squad, and with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and they swept LeBron in 2018. I remember it vividly. And then the year after 2018, 2019, that was when the Raptors ended up winning their championship. I don't know why this article is trying to tell me different, and I have honestly, who was the guy who wrote this? Okay. Caden Hardy, don't ever listen to what he has to say, because that almost duped me. And that could definitely dupe a lot of people, because like I had to think about it. Was it 2017 or 2018? That does not make any sense, and I remember it vividly because I was alive. Like, this is one of those things where I 100% can remember vividly because I was alive during this time and I was active. I was incredibly active with basketball at this time. So, and I still am active to this day. But yeah, like that was a that was a bad mistake from them. But do I see Jimmy returning to Philly? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, he has the success with the Miami Heat. He's had several successes. Like, he's made it to the Eastern Conference Finals numerous of times, and he's made it to the finals, like, a lot of times with the Miami Heat. So I don't really see him leaving just to go and play with Joel Embiid again. But then again, like, anything can happen. I just don't, especially, like, one of the things that I really think is just gonna, like, it's not going, and the biggest reason why I think he's not going to sign with the Sixers is because they had an opportunity to have him before, but they declined. And now it seems like, this is sort of like, as Charles Barkley would say, and some of the old heads would say, this is sort of like, that ex-girlfriend that realizes her bad mistake and wants to take you back. And I don't think Jimmy is going to fall for that. Like, that's sort of the analogy that I'm thinking about, because, like, again, the Sixers, they had him, and they just chose not to keep him. But then once they see the success that he's having without them, now they want him. And I don't see Jimmy Butler, stooping that low and rejoining his former team. I don't see that happening. But that's basically all I have for this fourth segment. So now we will go ahead and go into the fifth segment, which is going to be a really fun segment. We're going to compare the careers between Allen Iverson and Chris Paul, because there was debate. Jeff Teague said that he believes that Chris Paul has a better career than Iverson. So I'm going to go ahead and look a little bit deeper into that right after this short break. So stay tuned.